So I've been working on the sound of debris that you fly through if you are behind a ship that explodes in the game. During dogfighting, we've had a lot of really great explosions visually and sonically, but we were lacking any sort of feedback for flying through the debris cloud that remains. So I've been working on sounds for that aspect. And to do that, it's really not feasible to have a physical particle for every bit of debris that is generated. So what I do is I take all of the output I generate one by one and drop them into a digital audio workstation where I can set up an effects chain of a reverb for the front and a reverb for the back. I'm using Altiverb in this case, model of a Sikorsky. So when we play the output of all these generated files, they're very dry, but then when I enable the effects, they start to take on some character of, impacting a hull, and I can adjust some of the qualities of that. So we've got the front and the back here. You can sort of start to place these impacts into more of a space. And so I would take all of this output and render it through an effect, and that could be one ship. And then maybe we need a slightly larger sounding ship. Well, we're going to have to render it through another effect. There's a chance we might be able to do the effects part in real time, but for right now in the prototyping, we're just hard baking the assets with reverb in them. So now into gameplay. Let's check this out. I'm going to solo just the explosion and the debris cloud so that we don't have to listen against the ship noise mainly, just to isolate for this test. It seems like maybe the debris cloud's lasting a little bit longer than it should, but it's hard to tell. You want to hear something as you get around it. But you don't want it to last too long, although that's not so big a deal. So you can see that the random position of the particles and the randomness of the pre-baked sounds kind of works, usually. There's a few times where you'll see a large chunk go past your screen and you'll hear a sound and you're like, oh my God, that was perfect. Oh, there's other times you'll see the chunk go by and not hear a sound, and it's like, well, okay, maybe it didn't hit me. So now I'm basically sitting still. This really doesn't happen in gameplay much, though, so it's not really a valid test. I suppose it's possible you could be still next to an explosion just by happenstance. So we need it to work in all cases. Now you can also tell that the debris clouds may be a little bit loud compared to the explosion. So the mixing and the fine-tuning is stuff that we'll definitely do, and I can do a demonstration of that right now. I think that when we are in the explosion and then fly away, it lasts a little bit long, but sort of edge case. This is a level of decoration, of polish that really adds to immersion in that prior we've had these great explosions and you kind of see it happen, and if you fly through it, you're really not hearing much. It's just sort of like, okay, there was the explosion, but where's the rest of it? I see all this noise, all this scattered noise, but I'm not really hearing it. I don't really feel like it's affecting the ship at all. So this is just one of those tiny little details that a surprising amount of work goes into it, but it's just adds one other little complete fleshing out of the experience of dogfighting, so that you have a little more visceral reaction to that. Yes, there used to be a ship there, and now it's a bunch of tiny bits, and I just ran through them all. It's something that we didn't have before, and that when we put it in, hopefully it'll help people have a little more joy out of the kill they just did.